Hello and welcome to Little Drops of Wonderful. This is my channel where I talk about all things knitting and crochet and crafty and catch you up on all of the knitting and crochet and other projects that I've got on over the last month. And this is my September wrap up. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Starry Eyes Alley. And I also vlog over on my sort of vlogging life channel, which is called This Little Wonderful Life, where I'm currently in the middle of doing Vlogtober. It's day 3 of Vlogtober today. So if you want to see some daily life stuff, make sure you head over there. What else to say? It's a very sunny day. It's not as warm as the last time I filmed, but it's still too warm for October. And I live in Kent, in the southeast of England, with my husband, who's upstairs typing loudly, so you might hear that, and my 2 daughters who are both out at school and college. Apologies for being so behind lately on comments and so on. I was away for a few days with friends and we got delayed, and work, my day job at the museum, has been really busy. So by the time I get home from that, I've got very little energy for anything. And just life seems to be busy at the moment. The kids have gone back to school and college, and you would think that that would mean more time. Well, I thought it would, but apparently it doesn't. But we're getting there. Things will start to calm down as the term goes on. Yeah, we've been doing lots of university, well, not lots of, we've done a couple of university open day visits, my eldest daughter and I. We've got more of those to come throughout the month, so that's been taking up quite a bit of time at weekends. So I just had to cut out some coughing because I appear to have now developed a tickle in my throat as well. Yeah, so not a lot of yarny, crafty, knitty time has happened in September. Also, I should probably address the fact that usually you're used to seeing me looking a little bit more Claudia Winkleman with a big fringe, or bangs as they are known elsewhere. But I've been having fringe issues. It's been like not behaving, it's been sort of rebelling and wanting to go back into a middle parting. So I've kind of let it grow a bit, just a little bit. And I thought today I'd just clip it back and see how I feel about it. Unfortunately, the only way I could do that was with a couple of sparkly clips that I found that used to be used by the girls. But then I also found, can you see, a little sparkly spider, which I thought was quite good for my episode that's going up in October. Very sort of spooky season-esque. I'm just going to take a slurp of my tea, which of course is in my Strictly Socks mug, because it is also, as well as spooky season, it is Strictly season, and that means the Strictly Sockalong is in full swing, and it's so fun, and I love it, and I love that it's Strictly season, and I'm loving seeing everybody's posts, and I will talk about the Strictly Sockalong a little bit later. So thank you for all the love on my last video, and I'm really looking forward to properly catching up on comments there. I was hoping to do that this morning, but I ended up having to run my daughter about to an event that she's going to with college for a university fair, actually, for looking at other universities. So I didn't get around to doing that, but I'm so looking forward to it because I really like making a cup of tea and doing that, and I'm really sorry that I've got behind. I've already said that. I think I have. I'll stop with the preamble and we'll get stuck into finished things. So like I say, it hasn't been a very productive month, but I did manage to finish a couple of things, and the first one of those things is my tenny beanie, which because of my hair situation I can't put on to show you. I need Dan to come down so he can put it on and model it for you. Dan, are you lurking? Oh, did you hear your name?
Oh, I'm getting ready to go. I've got to go and pick up my drugs.
Will you come and sit beside me and model the hat, and you can answer a question I keep getting asked.
Watch out.
Which really, so
My bummy's not that skinny.
oh.
Why do I always look shorter than you when I sit on the sofa? It's because you're sat all the way forward. Hi.
I still look taller than you, even though
You've got a better posture than me. Apologies in advance. I have a very round head and I always look like a complete moomin when I wear hats. But...
Or just generally. There you go. Right, now model it. That's it. Work it. You see? So, if you might lift your head up a bit. This is easier than being me. So you can see there's, oh no, I'm going to have to hold it up, I think. Go closer to the camera. Up a bit. That's perfect. So you can see the cables here. They're really simple little cables. You don't need a cable needle or anything. It's the Tenny Beanie, by the way, is a pattern by Whimsy North. And this gorgeous yarn is a worsted, you can sit back a bit now. It's a worsted weight yarn by third vault yarns, and it's called Unfathomable.
Say that again.
Unfathomable.
Unfathomable.
Yeah, depths. And this is a pom-pom by the Crafty Bird, who I see often at yarn shows, and I thought it just went so brilliantly with that yarn. And it does. It suits you, actually. Not sure about the pom-pom, but the colour suits you. But you might, while you're here, I get asked all the time, how's your hat coming along? Because you're knitting a hat, aren't you?
Well, I'm still, I've been really busy at work, number one. Two, I'm waiting for Ali to show me how to close it at the top.
Decreases.
That's it.
But we just haven't found time, have we?
No. What with, you know, running two girls' football teams, working, kitchen, house, not feeling great, just haven't had time. But I am going to finish it because it's getting to that point of the year where with this haircut, I need a hat.
Yeah.
As lovely as this is, not a pom-pom.
There you go, there's the hat update from Dan. Right, smile for a thumbnail. Look into this, sir. You can go now. Oh, to get all realigned. So you might hear faffing about. I don't know what he's doing over there. Where are you going?
I'm going to the hospital to pick up my drugs.
Oh, he's going to pick up his prescription. Okay, so he's off, which means I will be on my own for a bit. So that is the Tenny Beanie by Whimsy North, as modelled by Dan. I loved making this. I loved the yarn. It's so squidgy. I would definitely make another one because I really like how it's come out. You knit. You can have the choice to knit a long rib so that you can then fold it up, which is what I did because I like a nice chunky folded brim like that. Or you can just knit a shorter one and not have it folded. But it was so fun to do. I've got a little bit left. Where did it go? Here it is, I'm sitting on it. So I've got a little bit left as well. So I might, if I do another Tenny Beanie, maybe I'll strike this with the remaining yarn of whatever other hat I do. I don't know. But yeah, really enjoyed this project, and I made it on 3.5mm knit prosings, 40cm circulars. I am quite a loose knitter, so I tend to use quite small needles for things. And that is my only finished knitted object. I do have one other finished object though. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess what it is?
The kitchen.
My dress. The dress that I'm wearing, I made. So I did take a little bit of footage in the garden before this podcast. I don't know how it came out, but I might put it in. So here it is. I really like the length. It's just above my knees, and I know what you're all thinking. Does it have pockets? Yes, it does. It's got pockets. I actually sewed a dress with pockets. It's got a little tier here. Now, the name of the dress I can't remember. It's a pattern. And I will put it in the link underneath, and I will also put it on the screen as well. See you later.
Bye.
Let's wait for the door to close. That's door one. There's a second one to go. No, he's back.
Might actually need the prescription.
And the sharps bin. Take the sharps. And he's gone. Okay, I'm now completely alone in the house, which never happens these days. And do you remember pre-COVID when I used to have time in the house by myself? Yeah, that never returned. So the dress, which I can't remember the name of, but what I would have put the name on the screen, is a pattern that my friend Sarah had. So Sarah has the Yarn Mugs channel, and she's actually got a sewing, like a sew along sort of tutorial that she's done for a different pattern. I think she made is it a skirt or a top? I can't remember. And I've long admired and envied her ability to sew her own clothes. She makes loads of gorgeous things. And she said, well, come to mine. We'll spend the day. I will teach you how to sew a dress. And this one was particularly good because with the bodice, you cut it out in one piece. Let me think of the right term. It's not grown on arms. I think that's the right term. So you cut the front piece and it's already got the sleeves, and you cut the back piece, and then when you sew it together, that's what makes the sleeves, and then you just have to do the what do you call it, the the seam. No, not the seam. The hem. The hem around there. You just have to double fold it and sew it. She's also got an overlocker, so I was able to overlock some of the sections inside. Do this without showing you my pants. So that was quite fun to use. I've never used an overlocker before. So it's got the bodice you cut in 2 pieces, and then it's got darts that come from the side in, and then you've got the first tier, and then you've got the second tier underneath, and it's kind of a little bit ruched, if that's the right word. It's definitely on the bigger side for me, but any smaller up here, and I think I would have struggled under the armpits. So, but for my first ever sewing project for a garment and making myself a completely wearable dress, I'm going to wear this on Halloween, and I'm wearing it now. I could not be more thrilled. I'm so grateful to Sarah as well for taking a whole day. It was her week off and she took a whole day with me in her conservatory, and it was a really hot day as well. It was during that heat wave we had, and it's just amazing that she did that. We had a bit of a problem with the neckline because instead of doing a facing, we did bias binding, but I think when I sewed it, I think I pulled the bias binding too much, so it wasn't sitting flat. So this morning, before I started filming, I put some Wonder Web on it. I don't think it's made the best finish. And again, I don't think I did a very good job with the Wonder Web, but it's held it all in place. So I'm very happy, and I'm very delighted with my finished dress. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to say about it other than if you've never made a dress, I would really recommend this one, which I will have linked underneath. It was really, really easy. Like I say, it took, I think I got to Sarah's at about 9, I left at 5. We had lunch, we had breaks, we had tea, we were chatting. You know, we didn't sort of sew full on all day. And she even showed me how to make bias binding, which I've never done before. And as a dress, I think I bought 2 meters or 3 meters. I think I bought 3 meters, but it wasn't a particularly wide piece of fabric. And I'll link where I bought the fabric and what the fabric was underneath as well, just in case you're interested. And yeah, it was just so much fun. And I walked away at the end of the day with a dress. I started the day with no dress, and I ended the day with a dress, a new dress. And that is just the most wonderful feeling, and I would love to do more of it, definitely. So very pleased with that second finish thing. So things I have progressed in September. I said last time in my last podcast that September was going to be all about socks. It was going to be a socky September, but really it's been all about going to Spain, because I went to Spain for 3 days with friends, and so it was about the preparation for that, going there, getting back a day late because our flight was cancelled. I made a vlog about it, by the way. It's on This Little Wonderful Life if you want to see. We went to Frigliana in Andalusia in Spain. It was beautiful. If you've never been to Frigliana, go. It's absolutely stunning. It's a lovely, beautiful place full of wonderful places to eat, the most gorgeous food and drink. But you do need to have some strong thigh muscles because it's all steps. And we were right at the top of the village where we were staying. So there was that. We got delayed coming home. Work's been really busy. And with the kids going back to school and clubs starting up again, that's really where September's gone in like a flash. It just seems I seem to have blinked and missed it really. However, in amidst all of that, I have cast on my cotton yarn that I had for socks. I cast it on because I wanted to take it for knitting on the plane and whilst I was away. And I did knit a bit on the plane, but I didn't knit whilst I was away because I was reading. So I put it in my little bag. Now, when I was 11 years ago when I was, 11 years ago when I was in hospital having my operation to have my bowel removed, when I had a total proctocolectomy, as it's called, my lovely friend Erica, who I've known forever, like for years, since my very early 20s. We met on the internet as friends on Diaryland, if you've ever heard of that, back when it wasn't as normal to meet people on the internet, and we have stayed firm friends. We still meet up, and we still keep very much in touch. And when I was in hospital, she sent me a little sort of care package, and in it was this little this little sort of wash bag to use, but I have since repurposed it to use for sock knitting. I think that says knitter's gonna knit. And it's perfect for sock knitting that you want to keep in your handbag because it fits, you know, 2 balls of yarn and your needles in really easily. And on it I've put a little, this was a gift ages ago, it's a tiny little slice of my favourite type of cake. Can you see? A tiny little slice of lemon drizzle cake. So cute. So it's just a happy little bag. Reminds me of a lovely friend, and it reminds me of lemon drizzle cake. And it reminds me of a difficult time that I successfully overcame. So sock 2, there's not much to show, so I'm just going to pop that back in. The yarn I bought on a work trip when we went to Manchester. We went on a work trip to Manchester and I went to a shop called, got the receipt here to remind me, Abercan Fabrics. It's on Oldham Street in Manchester. I made a beeline for it and I found in there some King Cole Summer 4-ply. It is 55% bamboo and 37% cotton and 8% PBT, which I think is like a nylon man-made type thing for strength. So that is the label. And I got colour Onyx, this one. And it knits up in a kind of stripy patterny way. And I got it specifically to have a go at making cotton socks because I've never done it. The only little problem I ran into is because I knit on DPNs, I normally cast on my stitches, divide them over 3 needles and then join in around and start knitting. But this yarn is too slippery to do that. So in the end, I cast on all my stitches onto 1 DPM and then I knit the first row of ribbing and then I joined it in the round for the second row, and that made it a lot easier and was really good. I'm only going to do little shorty socks because I wasn't sure how the yarn would go, and I've cast on, I normally knit 56 stitches on 2.25mm needles, but I cast on 60, just a little bit, you know, just a few extra stitches because I was a bit worried in case it was somehow not going to be as stretchy, but so far it's feeling just as stretchy, just as soft and just as pliable as any merino nylon. But look how gorgeous it is knitting up. So I'm going into the pink, and there was a big chunk of pink, so I thought that was a good point to do the heel flap while I've got a big chunk of colour coming up. I'm only doing them quite short, like I say, so yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the heel turn and seeing it turn into a little sock. Yeah, is there anything else to say about that? No. Actually, when I was on that trip to Manchester, I will tell you, I took some knitting with me, which I didn't actually end up doing. But then when I got back, it mysteriously disappeared, and I thought for ages that I'd lost it and left it on the train. But Dan found it the day before yesterday, wedged behind one of the sofa cushions, so it must have just fallen behind there and got stuck. So these are now going to be called my lost and found socks. This is just one of my dodgy bags, what I made. And in here I've got some yarn that I used a few episodes ago. I was making my smash the like button socks, which was a yarn dyed for me many moons ago, which I've been saving for best and decided, no, I'm going to knit it up. So I made the most gorgeous stripy socks, but I had a little bit left, so I decided to get some other yarns from my sort of stash of minis, whoops, which are now all tangled up. Oh dear, look at, oh dear. Ah. We'll deal with that later. So I can just do some stripy socks. And I've started, this is so bad, I'm not giving you any information, am I? I've mentioned them before, but I've started. So I've cast them on, I've done my rib, that is I think a back to blighty one, and then I'm starting on the stripy one, and then I'll work it out from there. So they're going to be like Frankenstein socks, like a mishmash of mismatching colours. I've got my lovely Joe Pickle Lily frog DPN holder. Sometimes I get asked what DPN holders are for. Literally, they stop the yarn coming off your DPNs because they've got little poppers. So the yarn can't move off the ends of your DPNs. That's why I use them. So these are my lost and found socks now, because I honestly thought they were gone forever and were in lost property somewhere, but I've now got them back. So that is 2 pairs of socks for my sort of sock September-y thing, and I'll be having a Strictly Sockalong cast along session, possibly today or tomorrow, and I'm going to film it. So I've got all of the Strictly themed yarns that I've got over the years that I haven't yet knit up or crocheted up, and I'm going to choose project bags. I'm going to wind all the yarn up, and I'm going to make a little vlog about it to post probably next week actually, and talk about the patterns that I'm going to use. And I'm definitely going to be crocheting at least 1 pair of socks for the Strictly Sockalong this year. I won't get them all finished, but I'm going to start them all. I also said that I wanted to get my head around my big sort of yellow crochet, or you know, doesn't have to be crochet, but I think I prefer it to be crochet, garment that I want to make with some of the yellow yarn that I've caked up from my stash. So you can see some of it here. And I've had loads of really good suggestions, but the one that keeps coming up, like I've had so many like recommendations for this, is by Amy Christophers, and it's the Ariana cardigan. The only thing is that's made with, is it worsted? It's a free pattern, by the way. I've put a picture up so you can see how lovely it is. Yeah, it is, it's worsted. But I looked up the yarn requirements. So for worsted weight yarn, the main colour, which in this case is grey, you need 600 metres, and then you need 3 contrast colours, 400 metres of each. So I figured I just need to work out what my meterage is if I was to help hold it like triple. I don't think I'll have enough, but I can always bring in another colour to match it. That looks quite nice with it actually, doesn't it? That's my Cooks and Crafts yarn. So I need to do a bit of maths to work out if I'm holding stuff double, if I can then create a worsted weight to make that, because I do like that. Or perhaps that's giving myself too much work to do. Too much thinking. I also said, didn't I, that I was going to do my lurking whip audit, my LWA, but I haven't done that. For the 3rd month running, I haven't done that. I think possibly I'm in denial about the amount of lurking works in progress I've got. Yeah, so I think that's it on progress. I have been making progress on my Christmas jumper, but that's going to be in a separate video at the beginning of November, so watch out for that. I had to do a fair amount of troubleshooting, but I'm there now. I'm on a roll for now, until the next bit where I get stuck. Okay, so plans for October, therefore, for the coming month will be socks. Socks and survival. Socks and survival, because I've got a lot of filming to do. I've got Vlogtober's on the go. I've got other videos I want to produce in this month coming up, and it's just a really busy month with university visits at the weekend with Lilia. We're actually going away this weekend because we're going up to visit the University of Central Lancaster University. Anyway, we've got to stay in a hotel overnight in Preston. So yeah, that'll be fun. Just a little girls' weekend away and a nice hotel breakfast. Okay, shall we talk about the Strictly Sockalong? I literally feel like I'm like not even present at the moment. I feel like, what have I just talked about? What have I even been babbling on about? Is any of this making sense? Am I just like churning through things at 150 miles an hour? I feel like I need to, I feel like I say this every episode, but I need to calm down. In the words of, what's her face in The Devil Wears Prada? What's her name? Emily Blunt. You've got to calm down. Bloody hell. Do you know that scene in The Devil Wears Prada? I rarely say this to anyone who's not me, but you have got to calm down. That's me right now. Right, Strictly Sockalong. Okay, thoughts so far on Strictly. Are you watching Strictly? If you're in the UK, or Dancing with the Stars if you're elsewhere. I am loving it so far, but I always do. I never know half of them, but that doesn't matter to me. They could get just normal people off the street to do it and I'd still love it. They don't have to be celebrities. Obviously, spoilers coming up, but Les Dennis I think was the right person to go. I love Les Dennis. I think he's so old school showbiz and he seems like a lovely guy. But yeah, it was rubbish. My favourite so far, obviously, the two Angelas. I like both of the Angelas, but obviously much love and respect to Angela Rippon, who is just incredible and so sweet and elegant, and what a talented lady. Just got to adjust. Hopefully, I'm going to be a bit low down now. Let me get a cushion. And Leighton Williams, who, he is just brilliant. We suspected he would be. We all loved Bad Education. Obviously Phoebe's not seen it, it's a bit too old for her. But Dan and Lilia and I loved Bad Education. And Lilia also knew him from There's Something About Jamie. And yeah, he's basically just like his character in Bad Education. But the dance they did on the Saturday night just gone, where he did... so he's dancing with Nikita, another male partner, and they did a quick step, and it was just off the charts. If I can find anywhere on YouTube that has that, I will link it underneath just in case you can't see it where you are. But it was incredible. It was just amazing. It was a brilliant way to end the show on Saturday. So yeah, I'm very much enjoying it, and I'm not getting much knitting done during it because I keep having to watch the dancing. So I just have to think of lots of excuses to knit the rest of the time. But seeing as it's my Sockalong, I feel like that's the best excuse of all. I can just knit when I want. Okay, so don't forget the official yarn is not here, and I need to go and get it to show you. Hold on 1 second. Look. I can fit yarn in my pockets. It's the best dress ever. Oh, okay, so the official Strictly Sockalong yarn this year is by my lovely friend Suzanne, who's also doing Vlogtober, by the way, at Green Lampkin. And there are versions to choose from. So there's two colourways. There is Latin Love, which is this one, and you can buy it on sparkle and non-sparkle, and I have both here for prizes. So the top one is the non-sparkle and the bottom one is the sparkle. Oh, I just love it. It so lives up to its name, Latin Love. It looks like a Latin dance happening under the lights. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. Coughing, cutting out coughing. And then I've got Ballroom Bliss is the other one. It's such a it looks like a waltz, doesn't it? It just looks like a beautiful dress. The dark background of the dance floor, or the corresponding suit of the other dancer. So that's Ballroom Bliss. This is on Sparkle. And then I've got the non-sparkle version here, but this is all caked up because I'm going to knit with this one. Oh, so this is how it looks in the cake. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Oh, I think I'm going to do drippity drop socks with this. Oh, I just love it. So those are the official yarns. They are still available. I will link Suzanne's shop underneath if you want to go and purchase some, and I've also got these as prizes as well, and Suzanne is donating some more prizes coming up, which I haven't got yet, but I will show you when they arrive. Or is she sending them direct to the winner? If so, I'll get pictures to share next time. And I've also got some other prizes actually that have come in. I've got some on the way. People again have been absolutely amazingly generous with donating both physical and pattern prizes and discounts and everything. So I've got some on the way, and I've got a couple here. So, oh no, that's not a prize. That's a present. I'll show you that later. So, first of all, from Louise. Louise. I'm pretty sure your name's Louise. Yeah. WizWords50 on Instagram. She's a poet and a writer and an artist and a knitter as well. She's all the best things. So she donated some gorgeous yarn from her stash that she thought would be lovely as a prize, and she's donated some of the knitting swede I have 2 massive skeins of this exact yarn that I'm going to make a cardigan out of, and the knitting sweet doesn't die anymore, so this is a real treat to have this to give away. It's her Spartan 100% Superwash BFL in the colour Burlesque, which is gorgeous. And look, she's put this pink mini with it, and it's got a gorgeous little pink heart charm on it. I love a red and pink combo. I love that combination of red and pink. I think that is such a lovely thing to go together. So that is a prize. And, oh, and she also sent me this. I'm going to take it out of the packet. I've been saving it to show you. And then I can go and put it. I'm going to put it in my car. I'm going to hang it in my car. She sent me a lobster keyring. Oh, I love it so much. That's going to brighten up my car no end. I love it. So thank you for that, Louise. And then I was going to order this, and then I got the most wonderful surprise. It plopped through my door. I couldn't have been more excited. From Dominique and Marie at Wool is the Answer. If you don't watch the Wool is the Answer podcast, when you go to their channel, don't click on videos, because that makes it look like they haven't uploaded anything in ages. Click on live, because they broadcast their podcast live every single time, and you'll see all the latest live broadcasts, live streams that they do. So go to the front page of their channel and click on live videos, and you'll see all of their most recent videos there. And they just do it all in one go, in one take. They chat to people as they're doing it, and it's brilliant. I just love it. Just go and watch them. I'll link them underneath. And they've done their own Strictly colourway this year. It's Cha Cha Cha. I mean, can we just? I'll show you both cakes so you can get like a real good idea of the colour. You always get caked yarn from Wool is the Answer. It arrives ready to go. There's their label, and there is the name. Cha Cha Cha. And it's DK. I'm very excited about this. So one of these is for a prize, or both of them for a prize, but they did say I could keep one. I've got too much yarn, but I love DK socks. And these would make beautiful DK socks. And with the gorgeous, does the mini have a name as well? Oh no, just turquoise minis to go with it. I mean, I have to have socks, DK socks like this. I have to. So one of these will be a prize, but I will possibly steal the other one. So that's from Wool is the Answer, and I obviously will link everyone I mention underneath. So thank you, Dominique and Marie, for that. And do go and watch their podcast. I think that's all the new prizes I've got. A couple more in transit to me. Oh, and I've got some pattern prizes from oh, sorry. I know how to say your name. Inaka at Lunester. She's donated some pattern prizes, and also Sophie from the A Spring Snowflake podcast has donated one of her prizes, one of her patterns, sorry, as well. So there'll be more news on those. And don't forget, there is 20% off all sock patterns from Becky Dixon Designs on Ravelry. I will link it underneath. You just need to use the code STRICTLY20. You get 20% off for the duration of the Sockalong. So now until the end of the year. She's got some beautiful sock patterns, definitely worth going to check out. Yeah, so I've been loving all of your posts, by the way, and your cheating and your pictures and your posts in the forum. My friend Sarah won Daisy on Instagram. She is the test to my Claudia, although I don't know if I can be Claudia anymore if I don't have the fringe. I would have to be Anton. So she helps moderate in the Ravelry chatter group. So if you're chatting there, it's always such a lovely group. So much chatter goes on, so much silliness. Sarah, you might see Sarah popping up and chatting away with you as well. So that's the Strictly Sockalong. Tell me in the comments what you're working on, what your yarn is, what your cheats are. Don't forget, wherever you post your socks, to say what your cheats are, because cheating means prizes. It's not a good catchphrase, but it's just a fact. Okay, shall we talk about the amazing Skillshare. So a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and therefore fueling my constant need, apparently, to go down every single creative tangent rabbit hole there is in every direction you can think of. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creative people with a huge range of very tempting topics, from cooking and photography, graphic design and illustration, to knitting, crochet, sewing, cross stitch, embroidery, and off into the world of creative careers and even wellness and self-care. Everything that you can possibly think of is pretty much covered on Skillshare if it's in that sort of creative side of life. You've seen me show you the fruits of my learning on Skillshare many times before. I've had so much fun learning new skills, but I think the one that I come back to, the skills that I've learned that I come back to the most, is probably the simplest class I've ever done. Well, actually no, there's two of the simplest classes that I did on there. The first one is Daily Meditative Art with Neha, and this was just about simple ways to doodle, which obviously we all know how to doodle, but this was how to do simple repetitive doodles as a sort of form of meditation and relaxation. And I come back to those same doodles that she covered in that lesson nearly every day, and I find them to be extremely calming, a good way of focusing. And yeah, I think I use those skills, as simple as they seem, the most out of everything I've ever learned. And I also have found them to be incredibly effective as well, and genuinely meditative, which is what it's obviously was sold to be in the class title. And the other one was Perfect Pasta al Pomodoro with Nicoletta Grippo. I know I've spoken about this many times before. This was such a simple lesson for making the most simple tomato pasta sauce using tinned tomatoes and dried spaghetti. But she gave you these really basic, simple chef tips for how to do that properly and in the best way possible. And I use that every week. We have that same dish at least every week now, and I use that sauce in different things, and I use the tips that she's given me whenever I cook pasta and blah blah blah. So I've really picked up some skills which I think will stay with me for life now, which, you know, is no small thing. I'm currently still working through the intensive colour pencil drawing class that I spoke about last time with Amelie Braun, but I haven't progressed that at all in the last month for the reasons discussed earlier. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. And of course, I have an offer for you. So if you want to give Skillshare a go, totally for free, then the first 1,000 people to use my link underneath in the description, and I'll put it in a pinned comment as well, will get a 1 month free trial of Skillshare. So it's really worth doing. You sign up for it, you get your free trial, and you can really delve into all the different things that are there. I will see if I'll try and, if I've got enough space, I will list the classes that I've really enjoyed in the description box as well, so you can go and look them up. So thank you so much, Skillshare, again, for sponsoring this video. Oh, I'm getting quite warm now. The sun's beginning to come in the front window. My watch says it's 18 degrees, but I don't believe my watch. I think I was out there earlier, it felt about 22. It's going to be something like 24 degrees at the weekend. Like in the second week of October. I'm very glad that I'm going to be up north in Preston, where hopefully it will be a bit more sensible. 24 degrees. Where, like, I feel like summer is infiltrating autumn. Like it didn't have a good time of it when its time was here. So now it's like trying to muscle in on my season. Someone needs to have a word with it and be like, oi, summer, your time's up. Head over the other side of the world, please, and leave us with autumn. Speaking of the better months, the cosier months, the darker months, the burr months, I have some exciting news about an upcoming make-along. I mean, when I say upcoming, it's going to start in January, so you've got plenty of time to prepare. But Cherie, my lovely friend Cherie at the Ollie and Bella podcast, and I have decided we are going to run another Cosy Winter blanket along. Just had to look up the name of our own make along. Cosy Winter Blanket Along 24. It will start on the 1st of January. Let me get all the details. And it's going to run until the end of February. The last time we ran it, it ran till the 28th of February, but 2024 is a leap year. So you get a whole extra day. You get the 29th of February next year. So, you know, we are nothing if not generous. Let me get all the details up. We had this whole chat on WhatsApp where we were working out what we would do. And we came to a conclusion about how we were going to run it. And then Cherie went back and checked what we did the last time. And we basically come up with exactly the same thing that we did before. So we could have just gone and checked that in the first place. Yeah, so it's going to run from the 1st of January to the 29th of February. Whips are allowed as long as they're not more than 50% complete. You can crochet or knit your blanket. There'll be one thread on Cherie's Ravelry group for both chatter and finished objects. And Cherie will draw one prize from there, and there will be a hashtag, which is on the screen now, and I will pull a prize from Instagram at the end. And you don't have to finish your blanket to join in the fun. So the idea is it's super, super, super relaxed. So it's to make blankets in those 2, January, February, which are sort of generally the coldest and darkest months of the year. We make nice cozy blankets. You don't have to finish. It's really chilled, just a couple of prizes, and yeah, just chatter and just really, really nice and relaxed. I want to make a blanket for Lilia to take away with her to university, so it's going to be the perfect opportunity to start that. So you can start having a little think about what blanket patterns you want. I'll check with Cherie if she's already opened the thread yet, or you know what date she intends to open the thread, and I'll put that information either on the screen or in the description box underneath. But I just wanted to let you know that that is coming. If you're already dreading the end of the sparkle and, you know, fake tan of the Strictly Sockalong, then you've got something to look forward to after it ends. Right, so I've got a couple of incoming bits that I wanted to share with you. I've just spotted a whole thing that I was going to show you. Hang on a minute, before I do incoming, I just want to show you one thing. Oh. So I was talking about, at the beginning, I was talking about socks and how I want to have a, you know, bit of a socky thing going on for the next few months. And I found when I was looking for something else entirely, this, my Halloween bag. This is a bag by Craftmonger Law, who's Suzanne's sister at Green Lampkin Yarn. This amazing Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of my favourite films, wooden badge, is by Toadstool House Art. She does not sell these anymore, so I'm basically just showing you something you can't get. Sorry, but I love it. And then I've got all kinds of little pumpkin-y stitch markers and a witch's hat and other lovely Halloween-y things. I made this little pumpkin here. And then inside I've got some yarn that I have had for I think at least 5 years. Oh, and another pumpkin. Oh, and a zombie. Oh, this one's got eyes. That was so cute. Yeah, so I've had this yarn forever and a day. I think, yeah, about 5 years ago. I don't know if Rhapsody Yarns dyes anymore. I haven't looked it up, but this is 100% superwash merino. It does say sock yarn, but obviously there is nothing to make it strong. So what I was thinking was, instead of socks, oh, and by the way, so yeah, Rhapsody Yarns, that's the thing. And the colour is Firefly. Let's see if she dies still. Where's my phone? Let's save me the job later, I'll look it up now. There's a fly in here. Well, that's Instagram for you, isn't it? Rhapsody Yarns is absolutely still dying. In fact, her last post, I think, was today. And she's got a gorgeous Halloween colourway. It's called Halloween H2O. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, so, and I follow her and I never see any of her posts. Oh, it's really nice, that. Oh, that's a nice one as well. Anyway, I'm now just sort of window shopping on her Instagram. I need to stop that. Anyway, so Rhapsody Yarns. This is her Firefly colourway. I, however, do not know if she still does it. But at the time, I just loved how it was kind of like that highlighter yellow with black. And I thought it was really Halloween-y. But as it's not actually got anything in it to make socks, what's the word, strong, sturdy, I think what I might do is hold it double to turn it into a DK weight and make some of my Heath hand warmers and have some spooky mitts. So I've got them, I've got the yarn all in my Halloween bag. So I may do that, and I will link my pattern underneath. It's a free pattern here on YouTube, a tutorial, if you're interested. So incoming bits, just a couple. I'm not sharing everything that I've been sent, but there was just a couple of things I wanted to give a shout out to. So lovely Linda sent me a surprise parcel, and in it was this gorgeous yarn. It's the Victory DK base from Knitted Wit, and I just wanted to share it because I've never heard of this dyer. The colour is rock candy yellow, and it looks like a bonfire, doesn't it? I just thought that was so perfect for this time of year. It just looks like a bonfire. I wonder if I could make a, this is DK and not worsted, but I wonder if I could make another tenny beanie with it. Maybe I could. Or I must have a hat in my library already that's for a DK yarn. I think that would be a lovely hat to wear on bonfire night. Ooh. Anyway, thank you, Linda. I absolutely love this. And then something else I just wanted to give a shout out to. So there's a viewer, a lovely viewer, Lilia, same name as my daughter, spelt slightly differently, sent me a whole load of cross-stitch patterns that are all Alice in Wonderland themed, and they are so cute and adorable that I just wanted to share. I'm probably not going to share all of them with you because there are a lot here, but I wanted to give it a shout out because I know a lot of you do cross-stitch and you might not have heard of this designer. So it's Brooks Books Publishing, Counted Cross-Stitch Design by Brooke Nolan. And this is the Alice one. So you all know by now, I think, that I love Alice in Wonderland. I'll take it out the packet so I can show you. So look, this is Alice. And on the back, it's got all of the colours that you need to, the DMC colours, and a key as well. And then you've got the pattern all on one page. And then it's got a back stitch key as well. And all kinds of other scary things that I've never done before. But I'm sure I can work it out. So that's Alice. Actually, with the magic of editing, I'll be able to show you all of them. Ready? The Mad Hatter, the White Rabbit, the Queen of Hearts with her flamingo, the Cheshire Cat, the Royal Gardener, painting the roses red, the White Queen, the Dormouse, the March Hare. Who are you? The Caterpillar, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and the Duchess, and in my opinion the scariest character in the book. Okay, if things have moved a bit it's because I just had to change my battery. I just remembered one more thing that I need to share with you, and I kind of feel like I shouldn't because, well, no, there's going to be no judgment here. We all know that I don't need more yarn. We all know that. But I do need more yarn. So I did something. So I went to the Southern Wool Show and it was brilliant. And I've just realised that I've burnt my arm. I wondered why that was hurting. I've got a burn on my arm from where I was ironing on the fusible webbing earlier. Oh, that's why it hurts. I always seem to manage to burn myself here when I iron. Like how do I How do I do that? How do I burn my arm here? It seems like physically impossible. This is why Dan does most of the ironing, because he says it's too frightening to let me do it, which is fine with me. So I went to the Southern Wool Show and I filmed a vlog about it, which is a couple of videos back on this channel if you haven't seen it already. And when I was there, I saw some lovely yarn. You know, I saw tons of lovely yarn. And then I went to Witchy Crafty Lady to say hello to Almus and to talk about some spinning, because she showed me, she gave me some really good tips a year ago on drop spindling. And she had some lovely yarn, and I looked at it and I thought, no, I do not need more yarn, and I'm going to be very, very good, and I'm not going to buy any. And then I got home and she had a sale, and so I had to get it. So basically I had to rescue the yarn. Okay, so that's what I did, and I got, oh, how many skeins did I get? It was a bundle, basically. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 skeins of her Polworth dyed yarn. Sorry, not Polworth, Corridale. I love Corridale. I love the feel of it. I just love it. It's a 5-ply sport weight, and the colour weight is lime. And I was looking at it when I was at her stall, and I didn't get it. And then I just saw it as a sign when I saw it on her Instagram like a couple of days later, so I ordered it. So I've got 5 skeins of this gorgeous, sort of mossy lime green on this gorgeous Corridale. 5 skeins of it. It's 100 grams per skein, 240 meters per skein. I'm thinking a cardigan, a nice cozy cardigan, or a really nice loose fitting jumper that I could throw on over a t-shirt or something. I don't know how much I would need for what. So any tips for 600 grams of 5-ply sport weight yarn, 100% Corridale with 240 meters per 100 grams. Any ideas for a garment, preferably something really nice and loose and baggy, or a nice cardigan that's designed to be worn open? Much appreciated. And don't judge me. Okay, I know you wouldn't. And finally, just to mop up at the end, keep sharing those Strictly socks, keep checking back here videos for prize announcements to check if you've won anything, because the prizes get drawn throughout the Sockalong. So we've got there'll be prizes drawn when there's the first 10, prizes drawn Halloween weekend, prizes drawn when they go to Blackpool in November. There's cheating prizes and a whole load of prizes at the end as well. Vlogtober is ongoing, so hop on over to This Little Wonderful Life if you want some daily life stuff. So far, I mean, it's only day 3, but we've been making banana bread, we've had a roast dinner, we've been chatting about my hair a lot, the weather, bowels, the cat, you know, the general life stuff. Books, lots of book stuff coming up. My daughter Lilia has a job in a bookshop. Her dream job. She's working at Waterstones, so our life has just become even more bookish. And that's it. See you at the beginning of November. And just as I put that book down, I noticed I hadn't mentioned this very quickly. Phoebe, my youngest, she'll be 13 in November, and she has requested her birthday mum-made thing, and she would like, from this book, Edward's Menagerie by Kerry Lord, or Toft, she would like Caitlin, the draft, but she wants Caitlin to be ginormous. So I need to get some bulky yarn, bulky cotton yarn to make Caitlin. And I'm going to need to get on that, because that's only weeks away now. Yeah, and that's it. I'm shutting up now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I know there's so much great content out there to watch on this subject, so thank you for spending a bit of time with me. And until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.